Most people, when they look at the canter and they figure out, they always guess. They say, well, if my horse is tracking left and my horse is on the left lead, it must mean that they're taking the very first step at the canter with this left front leg. And that's actually the opposite. When a horse canters, it actually starts in the hind end. And so what you're doing is you're going, which leg do I communicate with the horse? The rider is going to tell the horse which leg to pick up and which leg to canter with. When we're tracking to our left, the very first step in the canter is the furthest leg away from the inside of the arena. Her right hind leg is actually going to take the very first step into the cycle of the canter, and the canter is a 3-beat rhythm. The next set of legs, and there's 2 that work together in that second beat of that 3-beat canter, is going to be her opposite front leg, which is her right leg if we're tracking left, and her left hind. And the very last leg to take a step in the canter revolution of that 3 beats is going to be her left front. Her left front is what most people are going to see. When you're watching a video and you're watching a horse's legs move, especially if it's in slow motion, you're going to see this left front land last in that revolution of the canter. And so if we go back over it again, Zoe's going to cue her in such a way when she puts her outside leg back that this outside opposite right hind leg is going to take that first step in the canter for 1. 2 is going to be the opposite legs, the right front and the left hind, and 3. So here's the rhythm that you're going to hear. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And so when you watch that rhythm, you're going to not only hear it, you're going to see the rider's body doing that whenever the horse is cantering, and you're also going to see the steps of the horse's legs. So here's your walk. Here are the 4 beats at the walk. Zoe is going to ask her to go from a walk to a canter. And so she's going to communicate. She's tracking to her left. We'll first let the horse get into the canter. So the first step in the canter is the outside right hind leg. You're going to see that take a step. Right after that, within a second, okay, less than a second, the opposite legs are going to set down together. The right front and the left hind leg are going to set down together. That's our second beat of the canter. The very last beat, the very last leg to take a step is her left front leg. And so when you're watching the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's the rhythm of the canter. It's right hind, opposites, left front. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you have different rhythms. This is a 3-beat rhythm. You know that if your horse isn't in a 3-beat rhythm at the canter, it's actually a 4-beat rhythm, and that means they're partially trotting. Fantasia is in a 3-beat rhythm canter, so it's really easy to see how her legs are moving and how they're operating. Good girl. Okay, and downward transition and just balance her back. Here's your trot. Okay, just keep trotting. That's it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. 1, 2. Good job. And downward transition to the walk. We're going to go ahead and reverse, and we're going to go the other direction. Okay, so the only thing that changes when you're looking at the gaits, when you're distinguishing what the horse is doing underneath you, when we're tracking to the left and we're tracking to the right, the canter is going to change because we're going to change what leg starts the canter and ends the canter. When we're walking and trotting, it doesn't matter which direction you're going. When you're walking and trotting, the walk is always that 4-beat rhythm and the trot is always that 2-beat rhythm. But when we're cantering, and this is part of why we're going to reverse and show the gaits this direction, is you're going to see different legs working together as we approach the canter in this direction. It's still a 3-beat rhythm. It's still the same system, starting with that outside hind leg. But you're going to see a difference in what legs actually communicate and work together. Okay, Zoe, when you're ready. And step this way, we're just going to communicate the right lead canter one more time, all right? So the left lead canter started with a different leg. We've changed direction. Our right lead canter is going to start with her left hind leg. So our horse is now tracking in the right direction. The very first foot that's going to take the step in that 3-beat rhythm is her left hind leg. The opposites work together, the left front and the right hind. The very last leg to take the step in the canter, the 3-beat revolution of the canter, is her right front. She's very good, isn't she? Okay, so it's her left hind. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good girl. Go ahead and walk forward and just close your leg. Atta girl. As a rider, you can choose, just set her up using your leg. You can go into the right lead canter if you want from a walk. When you go from a walk into the canter, you can really see how the legs are working together, okay? So when she goes into the walk into the canter, good job. We'll do a few of those transitions just so you can see. You can see the left hind leg picking up that canter lead first, okay? The opposite legs are working together. Her left front leg, her inside right hind leg are stepping at the same time. And the very last leg this direction to take the step, the last step, the final beat of 3, is her right front. Wow, Zoe, great canter. Very nice canter. Okay, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As a rider, you're gonna feel the horse's left hind because that's the first step. As a rider, you're gonna feel the horse's left hind leg step underneath you. And so what you're gonna feel is you're gonna feel that left hip come and have a foot scoop underneath it. When the 2 legs go together, the left front and the right hind, you're gonna feel your seat bones feel that step under your body. You're gonna feel them square up your hips. And the very last leg that takes that step is that right front leg that comes out and forward. And so your right hip then scoops underneath it. So as a rider, this is what Zoe is feeling. She's feeling the balance of, that's okay, upward transition, good girl. She's feeling the balance of what the horse's legs are doing underneath her body. It's a 1, 2, 3 rhythm. Starts with the outside, the opposites, and then the front. And so as a rider, she's going to be able to tell what canter lead she's on based on what her body's doing on the horse. And if she's listening, she can hear the 3-beat rhythm. She can feel the 3-beat rhythm. And she can feel, that's okay, good girl. She can feel what the horse's legs are doing underneath her body so she can establish what lead she's on. Good girl. So what we've done today is we've discussed and established the footfall of the gaits of the horse, you know, at the walk and the trot and the canter. The walk being that 4-beat rhythm where the horse, their hooves have an individual step. The trot has that 2-beat rhythm where 2 opposites work together almost in a shuffle. And then the canter has that 3-beat rhythm. It's a 1, 2, 3, and it definitely starts, it has an order and a system to it whenever it starts with the hind end and you switch to those opposite legs and you land with that front leg at the very end.